We're not on time. We not worth nothing. All we want to do is sleep.
Listen.
Listen.
We're talking about, are men really needed? Like, why do we need men? What's the purpose?
So we are live, but of course we're on Instagram and TikTok. Wherever you follow us, we try to show up and give y'all some love.
Man, what purpose?
Listen, 2024, My Marriage is Dope podcast.
Welcome to, where am I looking at? Welcome to 2024, everybody.
You can look over there.
Yay,
you can look over
My
here.
Marriage is Dope.
My Marriage is Dope podcast.
2024 is going to be everything that you make it be.
Not if it ain't no men in your life.
That's
it ain't.
That's it.
Not if it's no men.
Why do we need men, y'all?
Listen.
So, there was a young lady who came on Hardly Initiated. Right? Her name is Princella, and
shout out to Princella.
No, for real.
She doing some work out there.
The sister, because her heart is probably in the right place.
Her heart is definitely in the right place.
Right. And so, I mean, it was supposed to be a debate between her and Tim Ross, right?
Tim
and
Ross.
Her belief system.
Shout out to Tim Ross.
What up, Tim? Her belief system is basically, what's the purpose of men? Why are men here? You guys serve no purpose, for real. The earth is being destroyed at record speed, record time, right? And it is because of human behavior, right? So she is accurate on that. And this is the thing. This is the thing about this sister. Mm-hmm. Man, her book knowledge is crazy. And so
she got crazy Google game.
You can
she do.
I'm sorry. She reads books.
I don't mean to be condescending, but
I've watched some of her stuff because I want to know if I have something to say who I'm talking about, right? And to be honest with y'all, the only reason why I'm not the only, but really one of the biggest reasons why I'm saying something is because after she was on Hardly Initiated, they brought me and another young lady, SB, on.
Right.
And they brought us on to drop game for the brothers. I'm going to be honest with y'all. To me, that was the wackest Hardly Initiated that I did. I wasn't pleased with it. But anyway, and it had nothing to do with this sister, Princella. However, because they had her on the week before, they asked us, yo, what are your thoughts about X, Y, and Z concerning her podcast, specific questions?
Yes.
And so we answered it. So I guess she thought, based on what I saw, that they brought us on to then be the antithesis to, which was not the case.
That wasn't the case.
Probably wasn't nothing about her. Right. Because if she looked, they brought this same young lady, SB, and another lady on months before her.
Right. Shout out to SB, by the way.
Right. To drop game on the ladies. This time they brought me and SB to drop game on the men. Mm-hmm. So then I go and I see Princella did a video like a few days after our podcast.
Right.
Like
highlighting.
Like low key dragging, right? So she had our...
Not low key. It wasn't low key right? at all.
Well, I say low key because...
It was not low key. She dragging.
She was dragging. She was, and, her confidence is crazy, right? She has crazy confidence. The personality. She thinks she's funny. She wasn't funny to me, but I'm sure... the people who follow her think she was funny. Like, she was calling me Mammy, like Mammy 1 and Mammy 2, and, we all this, all that stuff. And I was like, wow, this is so interesting. But, we could debate all day about the purpose of men and the things that she's saying, right? But at the end of the day, and this is my thing, concerning her whole platform, and to all of you women out there who believe that men are not necessary. When we have a world full of women, then what? And I'm saying that because that is the platform she is leading. I listened to a 4-hour podcast of hers, and the ladies came on. She had a call in, and they were like, what's the purpose of men? They shouldn't even be here. Like, why are they even on the earth? They're not even supposed to be here. We got
She said that, or the woman?
The women, and she agreed. I mean,
Okay.
she's saying that too.
Right. Okay.
She said, right. And so basically, y'all.
So she said, say that again. Now repeat that. She was saying what now?
So this is your purpose on this earth.
Okay. No. Don't do that. You remixing. Say
no,
exactly
I'm saying exactly
what
what she said.
Okay.
Your purpose as a man on this earth is to be a sex slave.
Okay.
So that we can reproduce.
Okay.
Right? So you come into our house. Mm-hmm. Give us the D.
Right.
Get us pregnant. You go back to where you are. Okay. If you want to come and spend a night for a night or two, she said, fine. And if you're a good dude, we'll even make you Sunday dinner.
That's not what you said. She said there was no use for men on the planet.
There is no use for men on the planet.
Other than procreation.
And I took notes, so I'm gonna say, so I'll write.
Okay. All right.
Men are inherently lazy.
Yes.
Y'all just want to sleep.
Yes.
Sex, and you're lazy.
Yes.
You are very aggressive.
Yes.
Men are very aggressive.
Men are very aggressive.
Men are not emotionally intelligent. When we look at the 5 facets of who we are as human beings, right? Mm-hmm. Emotionally, mentally, sexually, like
financially,
physically, right?
Emotionally,
right? Mm-hmm. You all are not able to meet us where our needs are in those areas of that's who we all are. That's our being. And so she's saying, you're not like emotionally, spiritually, mentally, you're not capable, her words, right? To connect with us on that level. And now she's been married. She has a daughter. And it's so interesting because.
And I did hear that now she is active. She's living a lesbian lifestyle. I
think it's been a year, a little over a year.
Okay.
Right? She's in her 30s, so she was married and everything. And it's so interesting because when you look at the women who follow her, mm-hmm. they have all had very negative experiences with men.
Yes.
Right? When you listen to her story, because she actually ended up breaking down her story on Hardly Initiated.
Mm-hmm. I remember
her
that.
first experience at 4 when her father slapped her into a wall or something like that. Mm-hmm. Right? Now at 4, you may not remember that, but subconsciously you remember that. Mm-hmm. Right? And you know that the person who is supposed to protect you did something to you, and that person is a man. Mm-hmm. And so then your next experience from a man, and then your next, right? Like she saw her father bust her mother in the nose, like mm-hmm. break her nose, right? Mm-hmm. Boom, noted. A man, this is what a man did, right? Noted. She talks about being raped and violated and a gun to her head. Men. She talks about the conversations that she's had when she was in the military with men who were just disrespectful to women. They were married, talking mm-hmm. about, I'm going home, about to smash my wife's niece, because my wife's going to work, right? So I understand, right?
I don't.
I understand.
I'm trying to be patient. I'm trying to hold my mule.
I understand her hurt because I've been hurt by men. As women, mm-hmm. we have been hurt by men, mm-hmm. deeply damaged by men. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But how we are creating the narrative that it only goes one way is very damaging.
That's one of the points, right, that I want to make.
Okay.
But the first point I want to make is the reason why I wanted to do this podcast and this podcast topic mm-hmm. is because what she is touting is dangerous.
It's very dangerous. Very dangerous.
People gonna lose their lives. Because somebody that's unstable and has not done the research that she has done and does not have a platform that they're trying to build, they got their eye on who hurt them, mm-hmm. right? And so they're going to end up doing something to somebody because they at the behest of her teachings. Now, where else have we seen this in society? We saw this with Hitler. Hitler's point of view was the Jews had no purpose on this planet. All they were there to do was to steal and to connive and to manipulate and he wanted to create a society set apart from everybody else that he called the Aryan race, and they were superior than all other human beings. Anytime you start spitting that kind of rhetoric, that's when you cross the line on being dangerous. When you start saying, this group of human beings do not deserve to be here over this group of human beings, now you have crossed the line into creating a very dangerous and violent narrative. But go ahead. I don't want to.
No. So what do you say, right, to the women who they can go down the list of stories of?
I can go down the list of stories
who exemplify these attributes that this sister is sharing.
I can go down the list. My father, similar to her, never saw him do this with my sister. But my father, you remember the story I tell you about Tommy? Tommy, I had a drum kit, and we were playing the drums. My Jamaican father said, "Stop playing the drums." I got off of the drums, y'all, and I stopped playing the drums. Tommy, who does not live with the Jamaican father, gets on the drums. God rest Tommy's soul. God rest Tommy's soul. Tommy passed away years ago. Tommy got on the drums and just started wailing away. When I tell you that man, it might have taken him 5 steps, because he's tall. It might have taken him 5 steps to get downstairs from his room. He was moving so fast. And he whipped my whole entire ace of spades. When I tell you he whipped my butt so bad, and Tommy was over there in the corner cowering. Never once did he ask me who was playing the drums. So I got a beating it wasn't a spanking. I got a beating for nothing. And it was a bad one. Right. It was one from them Jamaican pits of hell.
Right.
So fast forward to 30, 40, 50, almost 60-year-old Shannon. I have been, this, the last man that I looked to as a father passed away on Christmas Day, Leon Burnett. Leon Burnett, God rest his soul.
Yes.
He's the last man that I looked at who was older than me as a father that was alive, right? I had in my 30s, in my 20s as well, this habit of latching onto men and wanting them to validate me, to say I'm okay. And the one thing that would upset me the most is if you quote unquote punished me in some way
or accused
me falsely of doing something, then I would be hot.
Oh yeah.
So I understand the stains that a father can leave on a human being. This is why a man is so important. That is, if a man wasn't that important, he could not leave those stains. He could not affect you and me. He couldn't affect you in those kinds of ways. It wouldn't happen if he was insignificant and didn't matter and right. But we instinctually, how we are wired, we're very similar to animals in this way, that we are wired in a way to understand and know how it's supposed to be. And Princella, did I say it right? Princella, right? Princella, what she is saying is, I know that I should not have been treated like that. That's what she's saying. She's saying, I know in the depths of my heart that this treatment that I received from that human being, I did not deserve. And that is absolutely true.
Yeah, 100%.
However, what about what about the woman What about the mother that didn't and was incapable of loving me? Yeah. God rest Alphonse's soul. I love my mother. Love her to death. Miss her horribly. But she wasn't what I needed. Right. I needed touches, and you are what I chose you because you were that. I needed the words. I didn't know I needed this until later on in my life. I needed things that she was incapable of providing. And she probably was incapable of providing those things because of the damage or the hurt or the stuff that was done to her throughout her life that, that's like, was horrible stuff. I'm trying to not curse. Right?
All right.
So here we have, I'm lockstep with her, but listen. When she says, all men want to do is sleep.
Sleep?
Stop. Pause.
Okay. Pause.
Right? Honey?
Yeah, baby.
All you want to do is sleep.
He's right. I love
all you want to do. Don't nobody want to get up at the crack of dawn to go anywhere and do anything.
But I do get up.
But she does get up. She does handle her business in spite of what she wants to do. What's the other thing? All we want to do is sleep.
Sleep, lay the pipe.
All we want to do. Why wouldn't you want to lay the pipe? That's enjoyable. It is like saying all you want to do is eat and drink cold water and drink lemonade and like, why wouldn't I want to participate in something that is very natural, very enjoyable, right? Stop. What's the next thing?
Answering the question?
No, hold on, pause.
No, okay, and you're lazy.
Now, I want you to think about a couple of people. I want you to think about, this is just two things. All right, I want you to think about a couple people.
Okay.
Jeremy Anderson. Does lazy come to your mind?
Please, God.
Does it?
No, not even not even the letters.
Eric Thomas. Does that come to you?
Please, no.
Wall Street Trapper. Does that come to you?
Please, no.
Neo Davis.
Gosh,
does that come?
No.
Leon Burnett. Does that come?
Not at all.
Doug Moss.
No.
Does that come lazy? Come to your mind?
No. Not at all.
Dewan Mutunga. Does lazy come to your mind?
James Perry.
Just James Perry.
Walter Clyde Choice.
Walter Clyde Choice.
Michael Perry.
Clarence Rodwell.
Not at all. And that's my brothers and my father.
Bone in their body. Yeah. So where is she getting her sample sizes from? See, the mistake the mistake that she makes is she's saying all. And anytime you enter into I'm on one right now, right? Anytime you enter into a discussion and you start saying things like all, always, never, those types of declarative statements, you are already off the rails.
Because her sample size is based on her experience.
That's all it's based off of. Now, if she, let's say that her sample size...
And experience of others.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was going to say. Okay. Let's say that she uses the sample size of other women that she has come into contact with. She hadn't come into contact with you. She hadn't come into contact with Dee Dee. She hadn't come into contact with Tracy. Right? So there are, I'm looking for the empirical data. And you said something that, about she's a researcher, and she utilizes.
She's highly intelligent. She's highly intelligent.
Right. You can be very intelligent and very wrong. Once again, Hitler was highly intelligent.
Right. I agree.
He was funny. He was charismatic. He was engaging. And he was very, very smart. And he was very, very wrong.
No, I agree. Intelligence comes from reading. That's where knowledge comes from. That is the root of knowledge, right?
But is she wise?
Wisdom comes from God. So a lot of people are jumping on the Princella train because she's so knowledgeable, but they're not attaching that knowledge to wisdom. They're like, okay, now let me see, what is the wisdom in what she's saying? Should we have a world where men don't exist?
Should we?
What would that look like? Should I look at my sons? I have two sons, 24 and a 25-year-old, and I can only imagine if I'm a young mother who have just been introduced to this platform,
and you
with
have a boy
5 and
child.
a 6-year-old. Oh, they're both boys,
Right?
And they were 5 and 6 years old, and now I'm like,
Now you're forced, if you choose to adopt her ideology, this way of thinking, this ideology.
That's right.
Now you're forced to look at your boys.
Right. So how do you raise that? As a woman, how do you raise that?
Come on,
the
man.
thing that you are being taught to hate and to loathe. And she may say, I'm not teaching you to hate them. I'm teaching you to see the truth in them. I can guarantee you that's what she's going to say.
Well, listen.
But the truth, the quote unquote truth in them is something that I hate, that I loathe.
And the truth of many realities, like the reality, and shout out to the brothers, Minister Louis Farrakhan and the brothers of the Nation of Islam. This is not a dig at them, but early on, when I was introduced to an understanding of the nation, I would hear the term, even from Minister Malcolm and also Minister Farrakhan, was that white folks were white devils.
Ooh, good question.
White devils. And there was nothing good in them. Yet, I could go down a list of Caucasian brothers and sisters that I have met and I have had in my life that have been amazing human beings in my life. None of them were super duper rich. They were just middle class and just normal like everybody else, trying to navigate and live this life the best they can. So all white people are not devils.
Right. This question, man, let me tell you something.
We ain't on the Q&A, but go ahead and get that question.
This is one of the most powerful questions. Character-driven purpose. I don't know if you're still on here, and it's probably a woman that says, can you share stories where a man healed you? Right? So that goes, right? That the reason why that question was asked 9 times out of 10 is because Princella's platform talks about how as women, we are nurturers, right? We are healers. And so it's like, when has a man ever healed you? Well, I could start with Ronnie Vanderhorst at 11 years old, who is still in my life at 53, who began the process of healing me after I had gotten molested by multiple men, right? Ronnie is one of the men in my life who never, so let me put them in a group, right? And I shared this with Jeremy last year. Ronnie, Jeremy, I'm excluding my family. They're not even in this. I'm talking about who's not my family. Ronnie, Jeremy, and E.T. Are 3 of the men who in my life have made me feel 100% safe and who have helped to heal me.
Yes.
Who have helped me to see that, okay, all men don't want me just for sex.
Yes.
I can be in a room with them. I can be in a tight space with them for extended periods of time. And there is nothing but protection there.
Yes.
There is nothing but healthy love and connection there.
Yes.
I never have to wonder, oh, I don't want to go to sleep, or I got to, no, it's nothing, right? So yes, I can share stories of men. Those are 3 that I can think of outside of my family who have definitely helped me in my healing process.
I can bring.
And
let me. Alvin Kibble. Douglas Moss.
Oh gosh, yeah.
A. Leon Burnett.
Yeah.
I'm just going to name 3.
Yeah.
Who brought healing to me.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, definitely.
As a man who needed healing.
Yeah.
We are together and prospering on whatever level because of those 3 men. Those 3 men.
Right.
I'm not saying women did not have an impact. Women did not have an effect. Of course, I can run down that list as well. But it's once again, it is dangerous to be saying this all stuff.
Well, it's very dangerous because at the end of the day, right? What is the message to women? So if we jump on this train of we don't need men, and that's really the gist of the platform, we don't need men. What does that look like for you? Like, have you really thought this out? You understand? Like,
Yeah, I understand.
Like, have you really thought this out? Why wouldn't you need a man? Why wouldn't you want a man? And listen, this was one of the questions. Do we really need y'all? Or do we just want you?
Is that a question?
Yeah.
You need us.
Why do we need you?
It is a symbiotic relationship. It is no different than we as human beings. So you got human beings, right? And then you have plants. Here we go with some science, Princella. Human beings, plants. Human beings, as a waste product, breathe off carbon dioxide. That carbon dioxide is fuel for plants. That's food for plants. Plants, as a waste product, byproduct, give off oxygen. That is something that as humans, we definitely need. So this is why global warming is such a big deal. If we cut down the good majority of the rainforests in Brazil and other areas, jungle-like thick jungle areas, we are choking off, we are destroying our oxygen supply. That's why it's so important, and that's why it's such a hot political issue. If we all moved indoors and did not have ventilation systems, the planet would die. Because the planet needs what we give off as quote unquote waste. And so there's this symbiotic. Symbiotic means I need you and you need me. Right? There's this symbiotic relationship that goes on between men and women. Forget all of these. What it's saying is, and this is with any partnership, any partnership where 2 people bring the exact same things to that partnership at a very, very high level, that partnership will fail. That partnership will fail. If you got 2 people that will work themselves to the bone, but they have no personality, and they open a restaurant, yeah, they're going to get the work done and it's hard work, but when it comes to customer service, they're going to be clueless. So will you want to go to an establishment that does not have good customer service? No, this is one of the reasons why we do the DISC assessment. So we can help people understand how they're wired and function in the healthy side of their wiring and point out the unhealthy side so that they can not operate in what we call blind spots. That's what that is. And so with this symbiotic relationship, if I can understand on a basic human level that I need you, and if you can understand on a basic human level that you need me, then maybe we will work in each other's best interest. Unfortunately, she is coming across men who feel like they don't need her. All they need her is for some pussy, some coochie, and there's a whole bunch of that around. For whatever reason, and I'm not trying to blame her or to, she didn't deserve to be treated like that. But like, who are you attracting? If you got all this series of men in your life, into your adult life, who have been a certain type of way, then I would be wondering who you around.
And you can't discount that.
No,
you can't discount it at all, right? Because I mean, there's a difference when you're 4 and you get knocked around, or 9 and you get molested, than when you're 18, 19, 20, 25, 30, and you're choosing people in your life. Right? So, listening to her made me think about the people that I chose. And I was like, man, all the boyfriends I chose were like solid dudes. Even though, like, I'm attracted to like the thug life. Like, that's just, I've always been like that since I was young, just attracted to the bad boys, thug life, city life, all of that. But because of how I was raised, I never brought that home. Like, it was something in me that knew that's not going to fare well, not just with my family, but with me in a relationship.
And you definitely didn't marry that.
And I definitely didn't marry that.
I'm the furthest thing from
right?
I'm a man, but I'm not. I wouldn't be. I wouldn't.
Right.
I wouldn't classify myself as a thug. That's not who I am or what I am.
No. But I mean, one of the things that as because you don't got no problems. Like, I knew I would be safe with you, right? So, and that was very important. And that was one of the reasons why I was attracted to the bad boys, because you have this perception that you're safe with them, but that's false. But that's a whole other thing. But anyway, yeah. So you know what I'm saying. So.
So look, she used this text that she was talking about her interaction with Tim Ross and others, and she used this text in Job, in the King James Version. She said the text is, "Man that is born of woman is of few days and full of trouble," and she was using that as a basis for an argument that men are full of are few in days. That means we're going to die soon, and we're full of trouble. And first of all, the interpretation of the text, all of the scholars,
Job.
all of the research that you can find will say, even though that word in Hebrew could be used as male, it is accepted that amongst male and female theologians, that man there is talking about human beings.
Human beings, yes.
Humankind. Humankind is born of a woman, which makes sense.
Right, like another version, all of us are born of women.
Right.
Have few days and are full of turmoil.
Another one, mortals.
Mortals.
Born of woman are of few days and full of trouble.
Yeah.
Right? So she takes, anytime that you are taking empirical data, or if you're taking scripture, and she's not even a Christian, she
go for the Bible.
She is using the Bible to
support her, right?
To support what she's saying, and then stomp theologians is beyond me. Like Tim, I'm like, Tim, man, I was watching that. Like, Tim, what? Come on, man. Use your words, bro. The Bible says a whole bunch of stuff that will counteract what she is saying. Use it, but not counteract. I got what Tim was doing. Tim did not want to. He did not want to be aggressive. He wanted to be very empathetic, but that's not who you were dealing with. He was dealing with a bully, a flat out bully.
He wanted.
And then she went on her platform after she was on the platform where he was trying to be nice and cordial and not come for her neck, and she came for his neck.
And that's
Oh my.
Listen. I hope as
I'm on
people,
one.
one of the
I'm
things
hot.
that I really want people to understand, us talking about this, we're talking about the subject, not the person, right? And that's the thing I will say this. That's one of the things that I just hate about her platform. But people do what they do for whatever their reason.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the things I don't like is the tearing people down.
Right.
I'm just like, why do you have to tear people down? Like you can read people without disrespecting people.
You can read people without disrespecting. And look,
that's,
you know what that is? That's a very masculine trait.
Oh, hella masculine.
Right?
Yeah.
To position oneself in a dominant, right? Mm-hmm. In a dominant position, and almost creating it's this I'm better than you. You belong in a particular place. Mm-hmm. The very thing that she is complaining about is the thing that she's doing when she tears people down and comes for, I get it. I mean, she's a debater. I get it. She's not a very good debater, but she is a debater, and she has something to say. And there are some things that she says that are of value, mm-hmm. but a lot of what she's saying is absolutely dangerous.
Mm-hmm. I think it's of value from the standpoint of men being able to see how you're actually viewed. And that, I was talking to somebody about this, and he said, I agree with her. And I was like, what? He was like, yeah. He said, when I was in my sin, that's exactly who I was. He said, but now that I'm in Christ, that's not who I am. Mm-hmm. Right? So there's this two-sided thing, mm-hmm. right? Yes, that is who we experience when a man is not in Christ, mm-hmm. right? But who do you experience when a woman is not in Christ? Like, we can't take away from that. Richard, I don't know what you I don't know if you're with us with this conversation. No, we're not pastors, but you said you hope God opens our eyes to the truth. We are actually speaking the truth, and we're speaking the truth based on the fact that men and women, we need each other, and that God put us on this earth for one another. I don't know if you're...
What is he saying? What did the dude say?
I mean, he said, praying God opens your eyes to his real truth. What book you've been reading? This isn't a book. We're talking about a young lady's platform.
He came to the party late.
Yeah. So yeah.
Watch the replay, bro.
Bro, we are definitely speaking the truth, my guy.
Yeah. Come on, man.
But yeah. So at the end of the day, I want women.
We're gonna leave these up, by the way. We're gonna go all the way through the Q&A and everything. So.
I want women.
We normally let Facebook
out, right.
and TikTok go, but this is too important. We're gonna go ahead and let it ride. And but you can join us on YouTube if you want to go to YouTube to My Marriage is Dope podcast and subscribe, like this, hit the bell notification so you can be notified, and subscribe that so you can hear and see when we are going live and doing another podcast episode.
Right.
That would be great.
I want us to understand just holistically that we are all unhealthy.
Yes.
You understand? And to point to one sex and to say that you are the problem now has made you the problem. And if you think that you can go through this life without a man, I would love to hear how that is possible, what that would look like for you. God knows I would hate to be in a world with just women. That would be the worst experience on the planet. Just women?
Yeah. You don't want to be a lioness in the pride.
Come on.
And look, this might be a little, right? So then what does she say to a transgender man?
I don't know, honey.
I
have no idea.
Like, does he have to then, a transgender man then have to go through the metamorphosis, or will they be different? In either direction, does a man who is transgender that chooses to transition to a woman, is it impossible for her to take on feminine qualities? And the reverse, if a woman who wants to be, for whatever reason, wants to become or is transgender and wants to transition into living as a full-time male, is it impossible for them simply because of their wiring? Like the danger, like I'm wondering why people are not calling her on, like, the danger of this road. Like, leave people alone. Come up with something. You can promote positivity about women without tearing down men.
What's the danger? What are some of the dangers?
Dangers of what?
You just said the danger. What I'm saying. What are some of the dangers of what she's saying?
Right. Like, well, I talked about it earlier. One of the dangers is somebody's going to get hurt. Somebody's not going to be able to just separate the rhetoric from their truth. And somebody that did them wrong, they're going to go upside their head. They're going to shoot them, stab them, cut their PP off. They're doing something. And going to say, and they're going to go through their computer, their phone, look at their browsing history, and Princella is going to pop up, the queen maker. Now that woman is in jail because she felt like she was taking back her power and was not given. Now, this is what I have not heard. What I have not heard is, how do you teach women to take power other than to only allow a man conjugal visits? So then what? Now he only comes just to provide procreation or pleasure. Then he's supposed to go off into wherever.
To go work.
He's not going to work because he's lazy. He's not going to work. He's lazy. And he's sleeping all the time. So how is he even going to have time to want to have sex when he sleep all the time? Do you see the lack of logic in what she's saying? And you touted her as being very intelligent and very logical. That's not logical.
I didn't say logical. I said she has a lot of knowledge.
She has a lot of knowledge.
She has a lot of book knowledge.
Right. She has a lot of book knowledge.
She has a lot of book knowledge. I'm not going to take anything from her. She has a lot of book knowledge. Right. It's just not laced in wisdom. It's not logical. It doesn't make sense.
Some of it's not based in logic.
Long term, this is not going to work. And I just want women to see that, yes, men have hurt us.
Yes.
They have broken us.
Yes.
Like, nobody can take that away from any of us.
That is very true.
However, part of, outside of when we are children, that's not our responsibility. That's not our fault. But a lot of these women, because I talk to them daily, okay? Daily, multiple women every day. Their pain is coming from their choosing.
Talk about that.
It is.
What do you mean? What do you mean by that?
Listen, you're choosing these men and you're expecting them to be something that they're not. And you won't let the relationship go because you're hoping that they rise to the occasion and they be the fantasy that you have in your head. So now who's the problem? You understand? So there are some raggedy men out here, but y'all are the ones choosing them. And then you talk about...
And you're giving them the best parts of you in hopes that they will somehow
the absolute best parts of you. Exactly. And you want them to be gingerly with these parts, to be careful with these parts. No, some of them are not going to. But you're so impatient on number one, your healing, because an unhealthy person is going to choose an unhealthy person. Period. And a healthy person is not going to choose an unhealthy person. And if they get tricked and they choose an unhealthy person, as soon as they see that that person is unhealthy, they let it go.
Yes.
Because they're healthy. They can do that. Right? So I'm listening to the women who are calling in and like, yeah, my boyfriend, I kept trying to love him and he just kept treating me like this. And I said, I'm just going to stay there and I'm just going to... Ma'am. Whose fault is that? You chose that. You chose to stay there. That speaks to your unhealthiness. You understand? And so the reason why she's able to grow such a major platform is because there's so many broken women out there, but we're broken because of what we're choosing. And you get to the point where you have done the inner work. Right? When they say the enemy is the inner me. That's your enemy. She's telling you the enemy is the man, but that's a lie from the pit of hell. The enemy is the inner me.
A whole person, there's two terms that that Dr. Deepak Chopra introduced to me some years ago. And that those two words are object referral and self-referral. Object referral is when who you are as a human being is totally, object referral is who you are as a human being is totally comprised of your environment. Those things that are outside of you. And so when there is a deficit, you can point to the thing, my mother, my father, the man, the weather, the this, the that. You can point to the thing and say, this is the reason why I did not thus and so. I'm unable to move forward in life. I'm caught, stuck in this rut because of the things that are going on outside of me. Then he had a term called self-referral. Self-referral is an internal barometer. It is, no, I am choosing a particular type of life. I am making certain decisions that are landing me in this place. And if I want to find myself in another place, then I need to make different decisions.
Right.
So yes, but this is, I believe that there's a both and. So, man, stop hitting me. Yes, you should stop hitting me. But I should no longer put myself in the position to be hit.
Right.
Both of those things can be true at the same time. Yes, you should stop hitting me because I don't deserve that. No one deserves that. But yes, I should move myself outside of the purview of your attacks so that I can be safe and navigate life the way I want to. Both can be true. Both need to be true. So we're not discarding the environment. You have to be in tune to the environment. You need to in the military they told us and look, she in the Army. She was prior service. Shout out to prior service Army. She knows, and I believe that she was enlisted and an officer. Shout out to her again. But the one thing that we learned, one of the first things we learned in basic training was be aware of your surroundings at all times. You can't tell the drill sergeant, I was late because my bunkie did not wake me up. No, you getting up is your responsibility. You being on time, you doing your details, you cleaning, you shining. We were shining boots back then. You shining your boots, you making sure your area is squared away. That's your responsibility. That ain't nobody else's responsibility. You can't say, oh, well, I didn't know, or I didn't this, or I didn't that. You would get tore a whole new behind by them drill sergeants. So she even knows that we are taught to be aware of your surroundings. And it is about what is going on internally. Another thing, she could tell you this. They used to say it's mind over matter. If you don't mind, it don't matter. That is what's going on inside of me is more important than what's going on outside of me. So I don't care how many push-ups you make me do. I'm not breaking. I'm not quitting. I'm not whatever you want to do, because I chose to be here. I'm going to do my best while I'm here. And if I have to get smoked every day, smoke means you got to do a lot of push-ups. If I get smoked every day, then so be it. But I'm not going anywhere, and I'm in control of my own destiny.
You know, the interesting thing, right, because now she's 100% a lesbian.
She's not a lesbian. She's living a lesbian lifestyle.
Yeah.
She's still like dick. I guarantee you.
She says she don't, but that's beside the point.
Well, she's exercising. Well, yeah, it's beside the point, but she's exercising her choice not to have it. But she would be lying if in that relationship she's in, if they're using toys at all. She just don't like what it's attached to.
Right. She doesn't like what it's attached to. Right. But it's interesting because they have a 3 times higher percent of divorce.
They who?
And lesbians.
Wow.
Violence, fighting, discord.
So you mean to tell me there are statistics?
There are statistics.
You know something?
Yes.
There are statistics that can speak to the amount of violence in lesbian relationships. Let's search that. Google. Let me go here. I'm curious. I'm curious. What are the stats on lesbian relationship domestic violence? I'm a slow typer, so excuse me for that. This is what the interweb has decided to share with us. Statistics on domestic violence in lesbian relationships indicate a significant prevalence of this issue, though it is challenging to obtain precise data due to various factors like underreporting and methodological limitations. According to the 2010 National Intimate Partner Violence and Sexual Violence Survey, 44% of lesbian women have experienced domestic violence by an intimate partner at some point in their lives. However, the true extent of domestic violence in lesbian relationships may be underreported due to the societal gender roles and stereotypes, which can lead to violence perpetrated by women being overlooked or dismissed. This societal perception can also contribute to victims being less likely to have their cases prosecuted within the legal system. Come on, man. It's out there. The data is out there. And I'm not even doing an exhaustive study. I'm quite sure.
The gay couples, which are the men,
yeah,
their marriages lasted longer than the lesbian couples.
Well, I don't know about that.
I'm saying.
Right.
The average relationship duration for straight couples was 17 years, 21 years for gay couples, and 14 years for lesbian couples.
So what do we say? I wanted
so while y'all out here running to women because you think,
if you are running to a woman,
listen, we're humans. You're going to have conflict. If you're running
to a woman because you feel that's where you will find the love that you feel internally, then run to that all day, every day. I'm not here to tell somebody where to find their love. But if you are running to women as an alternative
Because you think a man
Because
can give you, right.
Men are all of these things that she are describing, then I think you need to pause and don't do nothing.
Yeah.
And really, really take a hard look at, what you are, how you're navigating this life. Because the one thing we can agree on is we all want to be loved. Do we have questions?
Yeah, we do have.
We have, okay. We can agree upon that. That we all want to be loved.
Yeah.
Where I get, and we all want to be treated with respect and consideration and empathy. But where I get off, I cannot, because of any hurt that I've experienced from my mother or from any other women, I cannot now say all women, which you fall under, all women, are this and that. And from a negative perspective, I'm not prepared to do that.
And listen, one thing we can pretty much guarantee, right? Can't prove it now, but guarantee. If she had good relationships with men, all that information out there that she's talking about, it would not have made a difference, her love for men. It wouldn't. She wouldn't have been like, well, I've had great experiences with men, but this is the data. This is the research. This is what the books are saying. That would not have happened. Right? So we cannot discount the fact that, listen, I don't want to call her bitter. I don't know. I've not met her, so I can't put a thing on it. I can say her experience has jaded her and has hurt her deeply and caused her to now move a certain way as it pertains to men. She wants to keep her experience separate from this. This is not possible. The only reason why you are on this is because of your experience. That's it. There's no other reason why you are saying the things you're saying except for the fact that you have had bad experience after bad experience after bad experience times 100 or whatever. And you have had enough of it. And you're like, that's it. And so then you start reading and doing research and trying to figure out what the hell is going on with men, right? And here we are. You can't take away from the fact that you've been hurt and damaged. So
that's a variable in the equations you cannot ignore.
100%. You can't ignore that. And so that's why it's so dangerous, because so many of us we have been hurt. But guess what? You know how many women have hurt men? Like, we hurt each other, y'all. That's human nature. We are imperfect beings. We hurt each other. It's not even wise and exact to think, oh, I'll just leave a man and go to a woman. Like, I'll never get hurt again in my life. That don't make no sense. Don't make no sense.
There's somebody here, Lamb's Book of Life. Shalom. Love her. I guess, Princella, I don't know if you're still there, Lamb's Book of Men are not capable of love. Lamb's Book of Life. I hope you're still there. I'm very, very capable of love. As a matter of fact, men have a large capacity to love.
Yeah, baby.
Very, very large capacity to love. You should see me with my sons.
I don't know where you learned that from.
You should see me with you should see me. I can't speak about men, right? Have I done things to hurt this woman? Yes. But to say that men are not capable of love?
Yeah, that's not true. Why are there so many, and that's why people like...
What?
She said, why are there so many abusive men in fatherless homes?
Right, because there's a problem.
She's not wise. She's educated. She has knowledge. She said
she's there.
Wise.
She's there. Right. Let's hear the video you're referring to, starting 2024 off with false information. Do better. Yeah, I'm not play her video. Which video? I don't know what video you're speaking of. Call into her show and speak your mind. I would love to. I would absolutely love to. Please explain. Oh, I wish I could. Would you be willing to, I wonder if I could work this out here. Lamb's Book
She
of
said,
Life.
let's talk about the majority. Have you met the majority?
Yeah, we can't talk about the majority.
Talk about the majority.
Because we don't know the majority. It's impossible to speak about the majority when you haven't experienced the majority. When you experience the majority, then you can say that. Why are there so many abusive men? Because there's some hurt, broke people out there in fatherless homes. So Lamb's Book of Life, the additional, who are these men sleeping with? And are they raped? Are they being raped? Are they demanding that a man put a condom on, or you not having sex with me? Let's just talk about the consensual sex. Let's talk about that alone, the consensual sex. Where are the women with all of these fatherless homes that are saying to these men, until you will not put your stuff inside of me until you put a condom on?
I knew a young lady.
Come on, man.
Wasn't even in her 30s, and you know her too. She had, 10 or 11 kids. She would come to church, all the kids. Mm-hmm. Remember? Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they didn't have the same baby daddies. Right? That's whose fault is that now? Right? So we're both culpable. So why do we have so many broken homes? That's why. Because the man and the woman who chose to smash did not do family planning. They didn't care nothing about.
They didn't do family planning.
All they cared about was getting some dick and getting some pussy, period. That's why we have broken homes. And those who left the home, I'm sure if they were half of a decent man, they didn't just leave for no reason. They had a partner who was a woman. And for whatever reason, the two of them could not see eye to eye. Like, it's so many, you can't just say, why do we have broken home? Like, oh, it's because of men. That's, come on.
So she said that I'm going to address all this. She said she's bold and that comes off as masculine. No. I know, my wife is bold. I know so many bold women, and it just comes off as strength. Strength is bisexual, bi-gender. It's not being bold is not. I could introduce you to some really, really bold women who are very, very feminine, who are submissive in a lot of ways, and who co-partner with their husbands in the life that they are making for themselves. Everybody not sitting back and just not saying anything, and I better not say nothing. Mister not gonna take care of me.
Out of everything that Lamb's,
she's not doing that.
No, please. Out of everything that Lamb's book said, right? The one thing that really hurts me is the mentality of men are not capable of love. That is just, that's sad that you've never had a man to love you. Whether clearly you hadn't had a father to love you, or uncle to love you, a grandfather to love you, a brother to love you, a great male friend to love you. Clearly, for you to say something like that.
And I'm willing to bet you that there are some men in your life that thought that they were good people to her, that found out that they weren't. They were just a piece of crap. She also
women
said,
need to do better and listen.
She said, women need to do better.
And that's what,
yes, we agree.
I agree with 100%.
Agree. Women need to do better.
Yes.
She encourages that.
Yes.
But she also encourages that there's no need for a man in the home.
Yes.
And I don't know what she's going to say. Lamb's Book of Life, do you have children? I'm just curious.
She has proven.
She hadn't proven a thing.
She hadn't proven anything.
She has not proven.
And then that's what I was talking about earlier when I'm saying people are getting her book knowledge mixed up with facts.
Okay, hold on. Lamb's Book of Life says she has 2 children.
Do you have,
Are they both girls? Well, wait. Daughters or sons? Do you have a son? Come on, baby girl. Answer the question. She's not gonna answer. Cause she know what I'm asking.
she's
has
answering.
She has a private video that teaches women how to train their boys up to be decent human beings in society. Well,
So the
how
women,
come she's not talking about that?
the women are training the boys. So the men are not needed to train the boys. Come on,
There
man.
is no way. It is no way possible that a woman can thoroughly teach a man how to be a decent human being. It's no way possible.
That I will disagree with.
No, hold on. Solely. A boy brought up
I
in
can teach a boy how to be
dominantly-
a decent human being. Listen to your words. A decent human being.
Oh, yeah, okay, well-
Yes, I can teach them how to be a
Right,
decent
okay, I agree with
human
that.
being.
I agree with that.
Okay.
Okay, yes. A decent human being.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is possible. I could do the same thing. I believe I've done that.
Absolutely. But we need to teach them way more
Can you
than being
testify?
a decent human being.
I don't need no
No,
kudos.
listen,
but
our children, who our boy, the example of our boys can testify, they got a daddy in the home, and what you see is not what I could have done on my own. Period.
I'm sick. My son came up to me about a half an hour or 15 minutes before we went live for the podcast, and he said, why are you doing the podcast tonight? You don't need to like take it easy and relax and all that. Like, he was really expressing a desire for me to rest, to lay down and to rest. I've been working all day. Some of that came from me, and some of that came from his mother. When I go to him and say, "Baby, how you doing? How you feeling? You sick? What? Let me go and get you some. Let me get you this. You got some medicine." When my son was sick, he's in the military. He was in the military. He's out now. Woohoo! Khalif Austin is served his time in the military. When he came home, when he was like in Korea, or when he was in New Mexico, his daddy was checking on him. My grown sons still call me daddy. Sometimes they call me father. Very rarely do they call me dad.
Yeah, I don't call that.
The term of endearment they use for me is daddy.
Yeah, listen, there's nothing nobody on the planet can say to make a logical person believe that a man is not needed in their child's life. Like, that just don't make no sense. Pastor Charles said statistics and history show that men need to model manhood for young boys, period. Thank God for the perseverance of single mothers, but the capacity to model manhood is limited.
Love that, Charles Humphrey.
Very much so. It is.
Love
I cannot
that.
model manhood. Just like if I had a daughter, he wouldn't be able to model how to be a girl. Imagine that, Lamb's book. Him modeling how to be a girl. When you look at females who are raised by men, they're some of the most confident, independent-minded women, because that's what a man gives. He cannot. It would take a lot for him to give that nurture that a mother gives. You can see the difference between a girl who is raised by a male and then both parents or a female. 100%.
And here's the thing, that just speaks to the symbiotic process that exists, that God created.
Right.
Like, you're not supposed to be able to do it all.
Right.
You're not supposed to have to do it all.
Right. No one said men were not needed to parent their children. The whole premise of being a sex slave, basically, which is what Princella said. I just watched the video. I saw it. That's what she said. Y'all are here to reproduce, come in, hit it, and go about your business. To not be in the home. That is problematic. That's problematic, period.
There's no way I can parent my child. Let me be completely honest with you, Lamb's Book. One of the reasons why I did not divorce Shirley, because I wanted to. No disrespect, babe.
No.
I wanted to divorce Shirley, but I did not want to be a father parenting from two different houses. I wanted to be there for the baths. I wanted to be there for homework and tucking in bed. I did a good majority of the cooking when the boys were little.
Yes, you can't do it in two separate households. That is so not ideal.
That is definitely
not ideal. Come on, when they crying for daddy in the middle of the night because they had a bad dream. Oh, let me go knock on let me go give him a call. No, hello. Come on, think. Just think.
Yeah, when there's someone breaking in the house, do you really want that? I'm not saying women can't handle that smoke. It's women out there going to the range. They out there doing it. But do you really want the smoke of protecting a household? We were hot and heated before we started the podcast. We was like, we got to hold it. But for all intents and purposes, if you look at lions, right, Lamb's Book, Princella is saying basically that men are like male lions. We're worthless. We're useless. All male lions do is lay around and roar. They let the women go out and hunt. When they bring the food back, they come in, bust in, get the food before the rest of the pride does. Then they can have the leftovers. But when it's time to protect the pride, they are looking at him. When it's time for them to, and this kind of speaks to the whole procreation thing, when it's time to reproduce, the lionesses are looking for a suitable male. Not just any male. They're looking for a suitable male to be the coverer of that pride. But lionesses are not complaining. They're not complaining. Now, are lionesses being mistreated and abused and stuff like that? Of course, humans, because of our reasoning and intellect and capabilities on that level, we really do some messed up stuff. Right? But for the most part, and I did some research. On matriarchal or matrilineal is the matriarchal societies are societies that are led by women. Primary leadership is women. Matrilineal societies are societies that like land and possessions and wealth are passed down through the woman's line. Right? So the woman is the primary figurehead in a matrilineal society. And interesting enough, I looked up I wanted to know what crime was like in those communities. And the research showed that because it's a society, it's crime just like any other society. Now, it might be adjudicated differently. There might, the punishments might be different. How they judge, jury, and executioner, executioner might not be the go-to, but there's still crime, there's still punishment, and there's crime being done by both genders.
Yeah. It's interesting because this young lady looks quite young.
You talking about Lambs?
Lambs. I don't know if she's in her 20s. I mean, she looks like it. She looks young. But she said earlier, when she said men are not capable of love, and she said, but I'm not going to be in a LBGQT relationship.
So
that is very interesting.
It's interesting and it's sad.
It is, right?
Because that means...
So she said yes. I guess yes, that she's very young. So are you going to live the rest of your life single? Not being in a relationship with a man? Like, is that what the community of women, is that how you guys move? If you're not going to be a lesbian, that you single no matter how old you are?
That's sad, man.
If that is the case, that is one of the saddest.
Focusing on you. As well you should at such a young age.
That's not the question.
But that's not the question.
That's not the question. Are you going to be single? Are you going to focus on you for the next 60 years if you're in your 20s? That's what I'm asking. Or are you going to marry a man? We should focus on us, whether we're married, single, whatever your status. You should always we've been together 28 years. I'm still focusing on me. Right? That's the thing. People don't understand how to build and create healthy relationships. And so that's why they can jump on Princella's train, because they've not seen it, so they don't think that it's possible. Mm-hmm. It is hella possible. Is it work? Yes, it's work. It is work trying to understand another human being. If you're going to put that work into try to understand your friends, your family member, it's still
your
work
children.
You have to put in, your children. So why would we not want to put work in trying to understand the opposite sex? To understand men and men understanding women, and then not just men and women, but the person that you're choosing to love. Now you have to understand that person, how they are wired. How do they respond? What's the best way, the best way for me to move that I can get the best from them? Like is she teaching that? Because that's what we teaching over here, how to have a healthy relationship. See, there's a way to do it. It's not going to just happen. There was a time where we were getting the worst from each other. You know why? Because we were giving the worst. So we've seen the dark side of each other. And then there became a time where we started to see the best of each other. You know why? Because we chose to put in the work to be our best self. As you say, to focus on ourselves. That's how you have a healthy relationship.
Here's an interesting thing that she says, Lambs. Right. So you avoiding life is a way to approach it, but I wouldn't suggest that. But she said, focusing on my relationship with my Heavenly Father, my children at this point and my children at this point in time.
That's interesting. Your Heavenly Father, who is a what?
Her
father is a male.
Okay, but let's not get into where the God, because Princella talks about the divine feminine, right?
Right.
But if she is focusing on a relationship with her Heavenly Father, that means she's a Christian. That's Christian talk, right? And in Christian talk, the Bible tells us in Genesis that God created male and female in his own image. So this should inform you, Lamb's book. Just the name, her name is very Christian, Lamb's Book of Life.
Yeah.
That should inform you what the problem is. That this is not We wrestle not against flesh and blood.
Spiritual warfare for
this
real.
Is spiritual warfare.
This is, man.
And
this is not your heavenly Father's will.
This is. I'm not trying to get you to not
at all.
Yeah. You chew the meat and spit out the bones. Well, a part of the meat is that God created male and female in His image, and you will want to focus on a relationship with Him. How did we get to this
men
point?
Aren't capable of love. What meat are you eating, honey? That's not even godly to say that men are not capable of love. The one who your heavenly Father created.
Your heavenly Father created you and him in His image.
And the one that came out of your womb will be a man one day, who will, from where you're standing, not be capable of love. That does not, come on.
It just doesn't compute.
Come on.
It doesn't compute. It doesn't compute.
Yes. Good point. I'm not sure how one can truly honor God in your personal life and simultaneously dishonor His creation. Men, both male and female, are created in the image of God. The Imago Dei. Yes.
But we get it. We get it.
Yes.
We understand
that
what this whole conversation, it gives us a glimpse into the amount of pain that sin has caused.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
It's like, I don't want, like, it's hard for me. I'm a Christian, so I pause to say I don't want to hyper spiritualize, but
man, this is,
how can you hyper spiritualize? My very existence is relying on the fact that God sent His Son to die for me because I was so wretched, because I was so awful, because I was so messed up.
Let me tell you how much I understand where you're coming from, Lamb's book. As a kid, I only wanted male children. I wanted to be a mother very early on. I knew I wanted children. And I knew I did not want a girl. Not at all. Like, I can't even tell you how passionate I was about not having a girl. I actually wanted 12 boys. I keep looking there. I actually wanted 12 boys. This one was like, yeah, you're going to have that with somebody else. And I was like, okay, 6. And then we had 2. And I was like, okay, that's enough. Right? But it was probably about 3 or 4, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, I realized why I wanted boys so bad. I wanted boys so bad because I said, I want to make sure that at least 2 people would be in this world who would not disrespect women and would not treat me the way some men have treated me in my life. That's why I wanted boys. And the other day, my son said to me, you and Daddy raised me to be a simp. And I was like, what? He was like, yeah. The way, he said, I've had to change my whole approach to females because they want these thugs and these, right? And if you look at my boys, you would think they're more thuggish than not, but they're not. They're just, they're hip hop, like regular human. And then he sent me a text and he said, you raised me to be good to a woman. Right? He thought about that. And he was like, you raised me to be good to a woman. So I'm saying it to say, I understand clear. There's no way you could have not been hurt in your life and have this mindset. It's just not possible. I was hurt in my life. I just happened to have other experiences that let me know we all hurt one another. I've hurt Shannon. I've broken his heart to pieces. Right? Equally, yes, he has broken my heart, but I've broken his. it just hurts me, especially because you have a son. Right? And
hold on. She not even paying no attention to you right now. We don't know. All we know is what you put in this chat. That's all we know. We don't know what your mindset is. We don't know what your personal thoughts pertaining to her content is. We have no clue. Of course we don't know. How would we know that? That's not.
Well, we do know part of her mindset is how she views men.
No, all we know is what she typed in this chat.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
That doesn't mean that's her mindset. That just means she's saying, oh, this is what she is saying. She's not saying this is how I feel.
No, she's saying what she's saying. She's saying how she feels in the chat. She's saying how she feels.
Oh.
She feels men are not capable of love.
She did say that.
Yeah.
She did definitely say that.
But, hey.
Let's get to some questions, man. Q&A, guys.
This is my favorite part. Love Q&A. Did you have any closing thoughts? You just go to the... You said men are not capable of love. How do I view men that they're not capable of love? That's all I'm speaking to. I don't know anything else, like you said, other than what you put in the chat. And you put they're not capable of love. Any closing thoughts on
No
this
closing
topic?
thoughts. I want to move on. I just know we got to be careful that this whole agenda, the agenda that Kevin Samuels had, this agenda is both these extreme agendas that really...
Man, definition of love. Who?
So...
Brainwashing
It's
is
unfortunate.
real.
It's unfortunate that we see this these different factions polarizing men against women.
Yes.
And the guys, Tyshawn and Ryan, they've apologized to women on their platform for some of the ways that they viewed women, the ways that they talked about women, the ways that they saw women.
Yeah. Right?
So, one, I believe that men can change, can turn things around, and two, it's a shame, but we just got to keep pushing. We got to keep pushing the narrative that we all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God, and we all need His grace and His mercy, so that we can be the best people that we could possibly be for the rest of the world.
And I just want to say this as a Christian who's whatever she said, doing the will of her Father or whatever she said, then you understand that there is no man's way of love and woman's. There's one way to love. God, that's God's way.
It's only one way to love.
It's only one way to love. And the very same love that we women desire is the very same love men desire. I don't know where you learned that from, but that is not accurate. That men, how they love or what they, I don't want to say it wrong, definition of love is different. That is not accurate. How they receive love and how we receive love, that is different in some ways.
As it should be.
As it should be. He's a man, I'm a woman. So there's nothing wrong with that. And that's a problem when people be saying stuff. That's what frustrates me.
But
because
here's her thing. How old are you, Lambs? She says, I have yet to have seen a man show that example of love. I'd love to introduce you. I don't know how old you are, but I can't introduce you to my sons if you're not healed.
No, for real. Listen, I was about to say it's two amazing male human beings who know absolutely. When I say I am covered and protected,
and they're gorgeous. When
he's on the road, because he times he work on the road, I am so covered and protected. I don't touch nothing.
So she'd be.
Oh, Jelani loves older women.
He does, doesn't he?
Listen, but she wouldn't. And listen, no disrespect to you, baby girl, but I want you to see. No, it's not even that he wouldn't choose her. She wouldn't know how to respect a man like Jelani.
Right.
Who actually knows how to love a woman.
Right.
Who can care for her. Like Jelani's
and he's
level
not perfect. He's not perfect.
Not at all.
No way.
Not at all.
He's not perfect. But what human
Anybody can live alone. anybody can live alone. I have friends at 16 years old were living alone because they got kicked out the house. So you don't have to be healed to live alone, man. Come on, I'm trying to tell you. Sis, listen, if you want to have
but that's just like saying, like, so Lambs, I had some health issues, and there was a certain point where I probably should be dead by now.
I know a lot of women, sis.
I should be dead. And I had to start doing things that...
I can introduce you to them.
I had to start doing things that would bring about a better quality of life for me. Mm-hmm. If I was said, oh, I'm healed enough to lay in the bed all the time, so I'm not dead, mm-hmm. I'm healed enough that I can just lay in the bed and chill. Mm-hmm. But that wasn't enough for me. I wanted to travel. I wanted to work. I wanted to do the things that I was passionate about. I wanted to be able to love on you and make love to you like that's all I want to do. Right? You know how many times I've turned her down?
So stupid.
Right? Come on, babe. Again? I mean, like, not right now. Right? So this whole narrative of all we want is this, all we want is that, your small sample size of men has got you unfortunately in a bad situation. And our society has taken away a lot of your choices because men have chosen to do some things that does not support the kings that they are, the princes that they are, the royalty that they are. And a lot of your choices are in jail, unfortunately. Some of your choices that would be a great choice for you, Lambs, they actually now only want to be with men because of the hurt that they've experienced from women. Yeah. Right? So they love women, but they're not going to fool with women because of the hurt and the drama and the things that come along with dealing with a woman. Yeah. Yep. So this goes both ways, and we need to change the narrative. And I hope you join us, just in how you're shifting your mind. Maybe, I'm not asking you to, you clearly follow us already, but
she may not follow us.
Well, I don't know where she saw the
what
podcast.
What women do you know are not healed that is willing to live? What women you know that is not healed that is willing to live without a man? That is not healed.
What woman you know that is not healed that is willing to live without a man? A bunch. That's not healed?
That's not healed? Or do you mean that's healed?
Do you know how difficult it is to resist the flesh? Yes.
Because of the work that we do, we know a lot of women, healed and not healed, who live alone. But we come in contact with a lot of people,
and they are so. If I wish I had a dating service, because there's so many of, especially of your friends that are like, yo, I want somebody to love and to love me. And unfortunately, it's not a lot. It's right now the pickings are slim.
Yeah, I know it's a lot of women out there who.
And then she said, "Do you know how difficult it is to resist the flesh?" Of course.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
That's one of the most difficult things,
if not the most difficult
on the planet. How many people can live alone? But I think the real challenge is in living with someone and knowing how to live in unity. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Great point, Miss Chris.
Yes.
Great point.
And that's why we are here, right? We help people learn how to live in unity, for us to understand how each other is wired, because a lot of people are getting into relationships and we know that we love each other. We know that we like each other. We know that we have fun with one another,
That's
right?
the easy part.
We know that there are certain qualities like, okay, that would make a great husband. That would make a great wife. But we don't understand how each other is wired. And that's causing a lot of challenges. And
Lamb's book. You know what it's like? Imagine a group of people that are lions. Let's call them lions. And then there's another group of people called jaguars, right? And the lions think that something's wrong with the jaguars because they like climbing trees. And all they want to do is climb trees and lay up in trees. But that's what a jaguar is wired to do. Why would you be complaining, even be concerned about the wiring of someone else? Now, in a perfect world, we were commanded to, and this is a part of the meat of the Bible. We were commanded to sweat the brow. That we were supposed, because of our part that we played in sin, we now have to work hard and sweat the brow. That's why I'm on this podcast right now, because I'm sick as a dog. But it is my responsibility, after especially advertising that we were going to be doing this edition of this podcast, it was my job to show up, no matter how I was feeling. Now, I'm going to crash after this. I am struggling through it, not asking for no sympathy, but it's what a man would do when in partnership. Now, trust me, there are times that I've said to Shirley, nah, I don't feel like it. But this wasn't going to be one of those times in 2024. We were not going to start like that. We said we scheduled a podcast. We put out that we were going to be doing it, and we're doing it. And Man of Prestige said, much respect to the two of you. You are doing the Lord's work, and there is more work. Lord knows, Man of Prestige. Yeah. There's so much more work.
To do.
So much more work to do. It's so like, cause it's crazy out here. In these streets, it is crazy. Let's get to these questions.
All right. The Q&A, my favorite part. Oh Lord, this is going to speak to everything that Lamb's book talked about. But we are asking the questions. So as you guys know, people send their questions in to us, and we answer as best we can, our experience and knowledge and wisdom and all that good stuff. So, my boyfriend lies about things he doesn't need to lie about. What can I do to help him see he doesn't need to lie to me? He's a good guy, and I know we'd be good together.
There's nothing she can do.
See, and this is what I'm talking about.
There's nothing she can do.
He lies. She said boyfriend.
Right. He lies.
He lies. But you're staying with him.
But you, right, you see this character flaw, but you want to somehow be something or do something that will change him. And
sometimes the best example of growth and healing is being able to let go of what is not good for you, even though it feels good to you. Baby girl. Let it go. See, a lot of times we choose this relationships based off of guilt and compassion. Guilt. Oh, I don't want to leave because everybody has left them. Right? Compassion. Well, I want them to know that they're a good person and that they're worthy of love.
You can let them know that from over here.
Do you want a project or do you want a relationship? If you want a project, stay in here. Understand that you can't stop him from lying. He came into the relationship a liar, clearly. He was doing this before he met you. You're not that special that he just started lying with
your
you.
Your stuff ain't that good.
You understand?
You're not that deep and special of a person. You are a special person.
Right.
But until he chooses to change his character, to have that character growth and development moment in time in his life, that crossroad, there's nothing you can do.
There's nothing you can do. So, if you stay another second with that joker, you don't have the right to complain. You don't have the right to part your lips. Because now you are literally going into this with your eyes wide open. You were before, but you asked the question, and so now you have been put on notice.
On notice.
Walk away. We just talked about this. Everybody out here blaming the men. The men are the ones who are getting all the blame for what's going on. Well, they have to partner with somebody. And that somebody's you. And if you're choosing this, now you can't blame him. Period.
Next question.
There's that. Ooh. My husband and I have been married 10 months. He has yet to give me an orgasm, and I don't know how to tell him. We were physical when we dated, but did not have intercourse. We dated for less than a year. Because we connected on so many levels. She wrote this wrong. We dated for less than a year. We connected on so many levels, but I cannot live a lifetime with him not pleasing me sexually. How do we have the conversation?
By having the conversation. I don't know. I don't understand. I get so confused. Like, you gotta say, and you don't have to point the finger. You don't have to be blaming. You don't have to, but babe. And you might start off. Here we go. Let me be positive. Mm-hmm. You might want to ask. Babe,
because men, let's do the caveat, right? I understand why she's asking, because when it comes to this, I'm talking to the women. There are some women who are deathly afraid. They're like, no, I don't want to hurt his feelings. No, his ego can't handle it. No, he'll pull away from me altogether. Right? They are literally afraid that his ego will not be able to handle. And that is sex, right? Because sex is so important to men, right? And then, right, people will use that as a, thing to stand on, but we have to understand how God created men. God created men. This is a part of man, right? Now, because it's been abused, that's different. No, it's not exactly your point, honey. It's been abused, but that's how God, your heavenly Father, created man.
To what?
Sex.
Oh.
Right? So that's how men emote. Men emote through sex. That's how God created men. However, there are some men who abuse that. Absolutely. Right? So no, you don't have a point.
But you have to speak to sex is the easy part.
But she's talking about the ego, which is exactly my point.
Being a lover, being a pleasing lover, that takes work.
Yes, that takes work.
Most times, if a guy had sex before you, more often than not, he's going to bring all of that experience to the table in hopes of pleasing you, not understanding how you are wired sexually, from a sexual standpoint and sexual satisfaction standpoint. Sex is overrated, but the hits just keep on coming. Right? Okay.
So
okay, that's I have to respect your opinion, respect right? But and so if we are not, and all that does is let me know that she has not had pleasing lovers.
I was thinking, I was like, she hadn't had good sex, but I wasn't going to say it.
Well, not even good sex. A lover that was. If she doesn't have a man, she hasn't had a man that loves her.
A lover, yes.
That could love her. Mm-hmm. Right? She already says men are not capable of loving.
Right.
Right? Then she hasn't been with a man that is a pleasing lover.
Yeah.
So she enjoys sex. She wants to have sex, but she would prefer to have it with someone. But she wants the whole
experience where...
Right. And we do, a part of the work that we do is we help people to break down how they're wired sexually. Mm-hmm. Shirley is wired totally differently than I am sexually. Mm-hmm. And so I had to begin to focus on what her needs were and how she manages sex and sexual intimacy, and she had to focus on mine. And so if you're not willing to do that work, then you set yourself up for these types of things and these types of responses.
So the conversation, you're going to have to be very direct with him, but also be kind, right? So, that's just like you cooking food and he's like, dang, babe, this is nasty. you would 100% have a problem with that. 99.9. You would have a problem like, dang, well, why you got to say it like that? Right? And then we would even have a problem with the fact that he even thinks it's nasty. Right? So I want you to think about that and then think about this issue, which is very sensitive to him.
So Lamb's book said mental sex is my preference. There's no such thing. It's just really no such thing. There's no such thing as mental sex. It's mental stimulation.
Stimulation, right.
Right? But there's no such thing as mental sex.
Right.
Not at all.
I just want to take baby girl in my bosom and just
rock her.
Educate her. Just love some wisdom into her. And no, I hope you don't,
Yeah, stimulate your mind. I understand. I get that.
I
get that. Right. You are. What is that? That's a term.
What?
Where
sapiosexual and
that's it. Sapiosexual.
Yeah,
you're sapiosexual.
Which Lamb's book? That's how I am. Like we've had so many conversations throughout the years, and I'm like, listen, if I'm not stimulated emotionally, it's just not. I'm not feeling it. So, like, I'm with you, right? But to this young lady's point, right? So somebody said it, and that's one of the things we teach: the 4 T's, timing and tone. Is 2 of them: truth and can't remember the other one, Lord Jesus. But like she said, that timing and tone is so important, right? And you just say, babe, I would really love to just talk about, our intimacy, like where we are with it. How can we improve?
Our sexual intimacy.
Right, our sexual intimacy.
You got to be specific.
Right. Well, because TikTok don't like these words and so.
Oh.
But where can we? How do you think we can improve? Like, can we?
I've been saying them words.
I know, like, right, and say, I would like for you to know my body. Right? So are you open? And I would ask the question to see where his mind is. Are you open to some new ways of exploring my body? Some new ways of pleasing me? And if he's like, yeah, then you show him. You share with him, y'all, right? So now you're in school. So it might not be like a pleasure thing per se, but you're literally in school. You're literally having sex for the purposes of teaching him what it is that you like, what it is that you enjoy, right? And so then as he practices more and more, right? But listen, marriages 9 times out of 10 will hands down fail if that part of the relationship is not good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to tell you.
We'll be like, baby, I don't like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, you're not. Hey, you should. But I'm an attentive lover. I'm trying to make sure she can't walk before we are concentrating on me at all.
Yeah.
For the most part.
No, yeah, I get. Listen.
So
I can't even remember. I don't even know when I've ever said to you, but yeah. Yep.
All right, next question.
So, and
last
since
question?
we've been on long for a long time, this is the last one. How can I know if the young lady I'm with is worth me giving her my heart? I've had trust issues in the past, and I don't want to put that energy out there. But in the past, when I've shared some things with the young lady I was dating, she would look at me. Oh my gosh. She would look at me as soft or as if I wasn't man enough because I have a high emotional intelligence for a man.
I don't even know what that most men are just emotionally intelligent.
I think you would fall into the category of a high emotionally intelligent individual,
right,
especially for a male.
Right.
Shannon is very in tune to his emotions. I had never met a man like that before until my son. Okay? And
he
is his twin, and it's so interesting that we talked about that. And I would say this: if it's someone that you like and you hadn't gotten to you're like, I like her and I would like to see if we could take it to the next level, but I don't know because of X, Y, Z. I would say test the waters, right? Share something with her that you wouldn't, like, if she were to expose you, you wouldn't be embarrassed about it. like you wouldn't care, and see what her response is.
Well, we already know what her response is.
No.
He
He's
said-
had issues with other women, and he's dated a young lady that he likes, but he doesn't want to project that onto her.
Gotcha. All right, my bad.
But he wants to know, how do I know I'm emotionally safe with her?
Right.
So that means you have to share something that is intimate, but you wouldn't care if she told somebody. And see what her response is, right? And see if, a couple weeks down the line, because a woman, we'll hold on to information, but eventually it's going to come out how we feel about it.
Mm-hmm.
Trust me, right? And so if she feels a way about it, give her a couple of weeks. She's going to find a way to bring it into the conversation, right? One of the issues that men have with women, right? We all have issues with one another because women will do that. We will sit on something, and like a doggone lion will pounce on you. And out of the blue, you be like, what the heck? Where did that come from? Right? Holding on to stuff. I just did it recently. Right? I shouldn't have held on to it. I should have spoke to it when whatever the case. But we will do that and blindside a man, and he's like, dang, like, what the heck? So I would do that. See what her response is. See if she asks you questions about it, right? Like if she's curious about your heart about whatever it is that you shared.
But can we pause for a second?
Mm-hmm.
There's hella a lot of women out there that are not emotionally intelligent. Being emotional or having emotions
doesn't mean you're
does not
emotionally
equate
intelligent.
to emotional intelligence.
Absolutely, babe.
Just because you got woman parts, body parts, doesn't mean that you automatically come with emotional intelligence. That's something just like intelligence, like knowledge, that comes with study and practice and exercising. That's a muscle that you exercise and it gets stronger.
Yeah.
You don't just automatically have it because of your gender.
Right. That's right. You sure don't. You sure don't.
My. Well, look, this has been.
Listen, I don't know if I'm Mammy 1 or Mammy 2. I also was called Pick Me. Not by her, somebody else. Called me a Pick Me. And you know what I had to say to that? 28 years in, and yes, we have been through hell and back. And this smile on my face, I wouldn't want to be anywhere else. Period.
And she could be. She ain't no slouch. She ain't no slouch.
I could be. But I don't want to be. Right? I'm willing to put in the work. He's willing to put in the work. And some days we fall and we just get right back up. And that's going to happen in life. If I'm at a job, I can love the job, but sometimes it's just going to be hella stressful. I don't leave the job. No. Because I see the reward. The reward is the payment. Well, the reward for this is waking up to somebody who you know has your back 100%, no matter what you guys go through. We are a united front together, loving one another, building a family, creating a family, building legacy, creating legacy, helping you all, being a blessing together to those of you who receive our message. Listen, we're not for everybody. We understand. But for those of you who we are, thank you. We love you. And until next time.
Peace.